The tension rises when one of the crew members, the guide, a stoic local named Mateo, disappears in the night. The group follows his screams to the edge of a flooded gorge, where only his radio and flashlight remain. The jungle goes silent. Then, slowly, a massive coil slithers out from the murky water, the moonlight glistening off scales as thick as armor. The anaconda reveals itself, a monstrous hybrid with deep crimson markings and eyes that seem to recognize the humans before it. The CGI is breathtaking, mixing realistic textures with fluid, horrifying movement. Every breath it takes feels alive. A heart-pounding chase ensues through narrow ravines and fallen temples reclaimed by nature. Rudd's character, torn between fear and scientific fascination, risks his life to record close-up footage. Jack Black's Lucky provides the perfect contrast, both comedic and tragic, trying to keep morale alive as they lose one member after another. The jungle becomes a labyrinth, every step pushing them closer to madness. At one point, they stumble upon a massive skeleton, the remains of an even older anaconda, fossilized and entangled with human bones. The message is clear: this creature has ruled these lands far longer than humanity's arrogance ever dared imagine. In a moment of eerie calm, Marshall whispers, "We didn't discover it, it allowed itself to be found." As night falls again, the survivors set a trap, using sound waves and heat sensors to lure the creature toward a ravine lined with explosives. The sequence is beautifully shot, the jungle glowing under thunder flashes, shadows twisting across the characters' faces as the sound of the anaconda's movement grows louder. The final seconds of this act build unbearable tension. The jungle falls silent, rain dripping off the leaves. Then a sudden, deafening explosion of motion. The creature lunges out of the darkness. The trap triggers early. The screen fills with fire, smoke, and shattering debris as the survivors dive for cover. For a heartbeat, it seems the nightmare is over, until a massive, charred shape begins to move in the flames. The anaconda isn't dead. It's evolving. The third act of Anaconda, 2025, unleashes the full storm of nature's vengeance, a brutal, emotional, and visually stunning finale that transforms the story from a survival thriller into a reflection on humanity's arrogance. After the failed trap and the fire that tore through the jungle, Dr. Evan Marshall, Paul Rudd, and Hank, Lucky, Larson, Jack Black, crawl from the wreckage, burned, bruised, and broken. Around them, the once vibrant jungle now glows with embers and ash. The air is thick with smoke. The silence is almost sacred, until a faint, heavy rustling cuts through the air. The monster survived, scarred, but more furious than ever. The creature that emerges from the burning river is unlike anything seen before, half its scales blackened, parts of its flesh regenerating with eerie speed. Its eyes glow brighter, its body steaming as it slides through fire like a god of destruction. It's no longer hunting, it's purging. The cinematography shifts here from the bright greens of the jungle to deep reds and blacks, painting every scene like a nightmare. The survivors realize the truth. This isn't just an apex predator, it's evolution itself, responding to human interference with lethal perfection. Marshall becomes consumed by guilt and awe, whispering into his recorder, "We created nature's revenge, and it's beautiful." Lucky, bleeding and exhausted, snaps back with raw emotion. "Beautiful? It just ate half the crew, man! You scientists never learn. You can't play God with monsters." The contrast between them drives the emotional core of the final act: science versus survival, logic versus instinct. They track the serpent to an ancient ruin deep within the jungle, a temple built centuries ago by tribes who worship the anaconda as a protector spirit. Glyphs carved into the stone show a prophecy: when humans corrupt the rivers, the guardian will awaken to restore balance. The film's score swells here, a haunting blend of tribal drums and orchestral strings that mirror both fear and reverence. In a desperate final plan, Marshall decides to lure the beast inside the temple and collapse it from within. Lucky argues but stays, proving his loyalty and courage in a moment that blends heartbreak with humor. "If we make it out alive," he jokes weakly, "I'm naming my next video How Not to Visit the Amazon." Their bond, once built on sarcasm, now feels deeply human. The jungle hums with life, the constant buzz of insects, the distant cry of unseen creatures, and the gentle rhythm of rain tapping against thick leaves. But beneath this vibrant beauty lies a terror older than time itself. Anaconda, 2025, begins with a breathtaking aerial shot sweeping across the Amazon basin, mists rolling over emerald green canopies, rivers curling like silver veins through the wilderness. It's a hauntingly peaceful image until the camera dives into the dark heart of the jungle, where the water suddenly ripples, something enormous is moving below the surface. From the very start, the film establishes its new identity, a fusion of suspense, humor, and high-stakes adventure. Unlike the 1997 classic, this reboot doesn't rely solely on fear. Instead, it uses the charisma of its leads, Paul Rudd and Jack Black, to balance terror with personality. Rudd plays Dr. Evan Marshall, a charismatic biologist obsessed with discovering the truth about a mysterious mutation in the Amazon's ecosystem. Jack Black, in contrast, plays Hank Lucky Larson, a washed-up wildlife vlogger chasing one last viral hit to save his dying channel. The chemistry between the two is instant, awkward, witty, and full of that chaotic, buddy survival energy that keeps viewers laughing even when things get deadly. As their expedition team sets out on boats through the dense jungle, the cinematography does most of the storytelling. The camera lingers on rustling leaves, shifting shadows, and the deceptive calm of water surfaces. We're constantly reminded that nature, beautiful as it seems, hides something waiting, something ancient. The tension builds subtly, a snapped branch here, a half-eaten carcass there, a native guide whispering a warning in the background. Slowly, the myth begins to unfold, a legend of an anaconda so large, so cunning, that it's become a spirit of vengeance for those who dare disturb the river. Halfway through the first act, the expedition discovers strange tracks near a sunken research camp. Broken equipment, claw marks, and massive coils of shed skin hint at a creature far beyond natural size. The jungle feels alive, as if every sound is watching them. Here, the film's tone shifts from adventurous to sinister. Rudd's character insists on continuing, believing this discovery could redefine science. Jack Black, of course, wants to turn back, capturing everything on camera with his nervous commentary. "Guys, that's not National Geographic material anymore. That's run-for-your-life content." Their journey deeper into the river introduces breathtaking visuals. Glowing fungi at night, fluorescent insects, and narrow passages surrounded by vines that almost look like serpents themselves. Each scene teases the lurking presence of the predator. And then, in one perfectly silent moment, the water ripples again, slow, deliberate, almost mocking. The boat stops. Everyone freezes. The soundtrack fades to a heartbeat. Out of the dark water, two massive yellow eyes open. The second act of Anaconda, 2025, plunges viewers into the raw chaos of survival, where science, superstition, and fear collide. After that chilling first encounter, Dr. Evan Marshall, Paul Rudd, and Hank Lucky Larson, Jack Black, find themselves stranded deep within the Amazon after their boat is destroyed by a sudden, violent attack. The group scatters, panic setting in as they realize they're being hunted. Not by a random animal, but by a predator that seems to think. The jungle itself becomes the enemy, the vines twist like traps, the fog grows thicker, and every shadow feels alive. This act is where director Colin Trevorrow, rumored to be helming the reboot, truly shines, blending suspense with dark comedy and moments of genuine awe. Marshall, the scientist driven by obsession, begins documenting everything, convinced the snake represents a new apex species, the result of hidden military bioexperiments buried beneath the Amazon decades ago. Lucky, meanwhile, keeps the tone sharp with his terrified humor, filming confession-style clips, muttering things like, "If this video ever uploads, tell my subscribers I was right. The jungle is trying to kill us." As the survivors regroup, they discover an abandoned outpost, overgrown, filled with half-buried cages, decomposing research notes, and strange containers marked with faded biohazard symbols. It's here that the true horror emerges. The anaconda isn't a freak of nature, but a weapon. Years ago, scientists tried to genetically enhance local predators for environmental control, and one escaped. The result was a self-replicating apex predator that has adapted beyond human control, a serpent that can sense heartbeats, track electromagnetic fields, and even learn from previous kills. As the trap is set, the jungle goes deathly quiet. Raindrops hiss against the ruins. The serpent slithers into the shadows, silent and calculating. Then chaos. The final battle is pure cinematic spectacle: fire meeting water, stone collapsing under pressure, lightning illuminating the monstrous coils as they wrap around pillars and crush through walls. Marshall sacrifices himself to detonate the final charge, whispering into his recorder, "Let this be my discovery, and my apology." The explosion engulfs the temple, sending shockwaves across the river valley. Lucky is thrown into the water, clinging to debris as the temple collapses. The dawn slowly breaks over the jungle, smoke rising, silence returning. For a moment, it seems the creature is gone. Lucky washes up on a shore, broken and crying, whispering to his camera, "I guess some myths are better left undiscovered." But in a final haunting shot, as the camera pans beneath the surface of the murky water, we see movement. A single golden eye opens again, watching. A low rumble echoes like a heartbeat beneath the river. The screen fades to black.